All right, so section 10.4 is about finding the missing angle. So every one of these triangles, so like if you look at question number 2, we're going to start with that one, but I got to show you some definitions first. So don't write this down yet, okay? But you can see right there for question number 2, they just gave us an angle theta. They usually have been giving us the angle itself, and then we had to find like missing sides. So now we got to find the missing angle. But before we do that, I want to just write some stuff out for you guys, okay? So just a little bit of some definitions that you're going to need to know. So, this is what we know. So, things that we know. If I call this theta, I'm going to label my sides here X, Y, and R. Okay? So X, Y, and R. Now this is what we know so far. Okay? If I give you a triangle that looks like that, all right, and I ask you, what is sine of theta? All right? So if I were to ask you, what is sine of theta? By definition, right, the SOHCAHTOA thing, you would know that sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? Opposite over hypotenuse. What is the opposite side of that angle? Is it X, Y, or R? Y. And then what is the hypotenuse? R, right? Okay, good. So this is something that we already know. We also know that cosine of theta would be adjacent over hypotenuse. That would be X over R. And tangent of theta would be opposite over adjacent, which would be Y over X. So this is what we know right now. Okay? Now, let me put a little thing right here. Here's what's new. Okay? So here's the new thing that we're going to learn. I can solve for the angle in those equations. Okay? In one really quick move, in one quick step. It looks like this. Theta equals sine inverse of Y over R. Okay, for cosine, I can use theta equals cosine inverse of X over R. So this is what we're going to be using today. All right, first we get to set it up the way we know, and then we're going to immediately jump to the new step. Okay, for the last one, theta is equal to tangent inverse of Y over X. Now I'm going to take a real quick screenshot here just to kind of show you guys something. So that way I can zoom into it. So look right here. Over on above the tangent, the cosine and the sine function, you guys see this right here? Sine inverse, cosine inverse, tangent inverse. In order to activate that on my calculator, I have to press the second function, the button that's in blue, because those things are in blue. On your calculators, it may say second, it might say shift, it might say alpha, it might say third. There's different buttons. Okay, every calculator is a little different. So pay attention to what button it wants you to press in order for you to activate it. Okay? So you don't want to do sine, cosine, tangent. You want to do sine inverse, cosine inverse. Again, that's right there. Okay? The little blue, that blue text on my calculator. On you guys, it might be yellow, it could be green, it could be blue, it could be any color. Okay? So just pay attention to that. But it's really easy to use. It's just a couple button presses and you're done. Okay? Doing these problems takes no time whatsoever. Okay? In the time that I've talked to you guys right now, ever since I introduced the lesson and up to now, I could have already been done with the homework. That's how quick it is. All right? So, let's go back to what we're doing over here. All right, so remember, we're going to be using that new stuff to solve. But we still have to start with the old stuff, the stuff in blue. We got to write it out first and then use the theta definition, okay? So here we go. Question number 2. We're going to check that question out. Oops, sorry about that. Give me a second. Let me put that back the way it was. So let's look at question number 2. So what you have to do, the very first thing, is identify which trig function are we going to be using, okay? Which trig function are we going to be using? So I'm looking at my angle, okay? It's right there, angle A or theta if you want to call it, okay? I have a side that's 6, a side that's 13, and a side that's not labeled. It's empty, right? So like I told you guys before, the best way to do these problems is to start labeling your sides. Start with the hypotenuse. What's my hypotenuse? The 6, the 13, or the empty side? Empty. So this right here, okay? Which one is opposite my angle? 13. So this is opposite. That means this one has to be the adjacent side. They gave me an opposite and an adjacent. Which trig function deals with opposite and adjacent? TOA, which is tangent of theta equal to opposite, which is 13 over 6. In one step, I can figure out the angle. I just do this.
Hi, Catherine.
Right, there you go. Theta equal to tangent inverse of 13 over 6. Catherine will be forever enshrined in this video on YouTube. Play it for your family. Yeah, look. So theta equals tangent inverse of 13 over 6. Now, I'm going to get my calculator because that's basically all the work you have to do. The only last step you got to do is write an answer or circle your answer, whatever you want. So I'm going to press second tangent. You'll notice on my calculator it says tangent inverse. Okay. And then 13 divided by 6. Okay, and hit enter. Oh, by the way, I don't even know if my calculator is in the right mode. Let me check. Okay, good. I'm in degree mode. You guys can see right here. It does say degree, okay? Make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. So again, there should be a letter D on your screen. If not, tell me. I'll go and fix it for you or show you how to do it. But make sure it's in degree mode. So anyway, there's my equation. So I'm just going to hit enter. And it says 65.224. Now, this problem is going to want you to round to the nearest tenth. So your answer is 65.2 degrees.
1 point after the decimal?
Yeah, just 1 point after. Okay, and there you go. That's it. That is all the work you have to do for these problems. Now, do you have to show everything I did? No. A lot of you guys can say opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. You can do that in your head and then write out your information. I would recommend you at least write out the starting point, tangent theta equals 13 over 6. Write out your angle equation and then just put it into your calculator. It's pretty quick. Okay. Let's do number 6. I think that one's a little different than tangent. So let's check out number 6. Yes, go ahead. Let me see. Here it is.
I got it.
Uh-huh. So the question, I think it was 6. Oh no, it was 5. It was 5. So here's question number 5. Notice this is my angle. Okay? So with what they give you, it's good to label your sides. Again, you don't have to, but for me, I was a visual learner. It was easier when I wrote it down, so I just looked, right? So which one is my hypotenuse according to that angle? 15. So hypotenuse. Which one's my opposite? There isn't a label. Yeah, the empty one right here. This is my opposite, right? So that leaves this as my adjacent. Okay? So notice adjacent and hypotenuse. Cosine. Good. So I'm looking for cosine of theta equal to 12 over 15. Right? Again, this is just writing out the ratio. That's what they call it, like writing the trig ratio. So we're writing the fraction, okay? So now write your equation for the angle. So theta is cosine inverse of 12/15. And you're just going to type that into your calculator. So second cosine, that gives me cosine inverse. 12 divided by 15. Hit enter. And they want me to round it to the nearest tenth. So notice the 8/6, the 6 will make the 8 go into a 9. So this is a 36.9 degree angle, okay? 36.9 degrees. So my answer is C. Is this kind of easy, I hope? All right, it doesn't take a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I don't need to do a whole bunch of these, even though you might have 8 more to do on your own. It really should not take you more than 10 minutes. Okay, it's pretty quick. All right, if you guys have questions, let me know.